All right, I am standing here with Dan Guillemette, who is the owner of Evolution MMA and one of the founders of Hybrid Combat Promotions. Hybrid Combat's going to be doing their 5th event in the Gatineau, Ottawa area on May the 22nd, and we're going to be talking about the event for the next couple minutes. And Dan, how's the planning been going for H5 in the past few weeks now?
It's been going really well. We have a phenomenal card coming up, some really good fights. We're pretty much almost sold out. The amount of help and the response that we're getting from all the companies and stuff in the area, it's phenomenal.
Excellent, that's good to know. Now, as a reporter, Bloody Knucks and Bloody Canucks MMA, we've been fortunate enough to make it to almost all of your events right from the beginning. And one of the first things that we've noticed is the progression that you guys have made as an organization right from the first show. The first show was incredible. I was blown away by not only the outcome of the ticket sales, but of the quality of the production. And when we came back for H2, it was like something was set off. You guys had the fighter entrances was set up. You guys had the light shows, the video screens and everything, and it really blew us away. And then you guys have incorporated video into your events now. And how is it? Has it been help from the community or just support from the community that's allowed you guys to explode as quickly as you had, or is it planning, partnerships, things like that?
It's been a lot of different things. One, none of this is being done by ourselves. We're trying to work with the schools in the area, and we're trying to get feedback from them as well. So a lot of the things that we've improved upon, you've mentioned several of them, but there are a lot of things behind the scenes that we work at as well to try and give the whole idea of doing these amateur shows is to be able to give experience to the guys who may eventually want to go pro.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're trying to do is give them the feel of what it would be like. So having the weigh-ins at an area where they feel like they're going through a pro weigh-in.
Yeah.
Trying to give them those jitters where everything that they would go through in a pro show that they're going through in the amateur show. So it's not just the fighting portion that's getting them ready, but every aspect of it. Trying to get interviews for them, just from the beginning right till the end. And as far as it's not just the sponsors and stuff that helps us, but we're not just doing this because we want to make money. We're trying to, every show that we do, we're trying to make it better and better. So the same philosophy that we put into every one of our martial arts, where every day we want to improve just a little bit, well, every show that we do, we want to improve a little bit as well. And
that you definitely have been, for sure. Now, since the beginning, since H1, you guys have always had competitors coming from outside of the Gatineau, Ottawa area. Kenny Hilt's prime example coming from Cornwall. You guys have had people come up from North Bay, all over Ontario and Quebec. Now, fighters are starting to come from as far as Montreal. We have a fighter on the main card in the main event, actually, that's coming from Zahabi MMA, and he's going to be fighting Ottawa's own Matthew Richardson. Are you guys looking at extending the invitation to fighters coming from other provinces outside of Ontario and Quebec, maybe in the States, maybe Saskatchewan and further west? Or are you guys looking to keep this more a local show to showcase local talent?
We would prefer to keep it more local, but there are requests from people in other areas because they're hearing about the show and the quality of the show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just want to be on the venue, not just because of the way they're treated, because of the whole package, all the stuff that you had mentioned before, and some of the things that I'd mentioned as well. So we would prefer trying to keep it local, and as MMA gets bigger and bigger and bigger in this area, we're hoping to try and keep it more localized.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we don't want to exclude people from other places on the outskirts. So our preference would be to keep it as local as possible, but
you're willing to extend the invitation if it happens.
The thing is, one of the reasons why people like what we do is we try and do the best matchups possible. Because the idea isn't to try and promote a school, it's to try and give experience to the fighters. The only way we can do that is to try and do the best matchup possible. And if we can't find that matchup locally, then we have to go outside of the area to try and find that matchup. So, we do what we can with what we have, right?
Right on. So. Now, speaking of building confidence in the fighters and allowing them to build up their repertoire and gain experience to go pro, we saw two fighters who have been fighting on Hybrid Combat Promotions cards in the past fight at a pro event in Rec MMA on April the 16th. We had Jeff Loughran, who was a two-time veteran of Hybrid Combat Promotions, and also Mike Riley, who I believe was a three-time veteran from the promotion. So are you guys helping the amateur fighters bridge that gap into pro, or is that something that themselves in their gyms do, or how does that work with you guys?
Well, we've done a little bit of work with Rec. Rec is the pro show in this area.
Yep.
And we think it's important to have an amateur show to help people get the experience, but it's also important to have a pro show in the area for them to move on to as they go up. And we don't have anything set up directly with Rec on that respect, but of course there's got to be that stepping stone for them to move to that next level. And I think it's just going to be a natural progression. Just hopefully some of the guys won't go prematurely to the pro level.
Yes.
Because there are certain stipulations with the regime that governs this, that we can take them back depending on what the experience is and how much time they've gone without fighting.
Yes.
But there are stipulations that we have to follow. So it's very, very difficult because there are some people who do fight in pro venues that are maybe at a level that is a little lower than what they should be to go to pro venues.
Yes.
And then other people see those people and they think, well, I can beat those people, and they automatically think that they should go to the pros. Whereas having the ability to get that experience in the amateur will pay huge dividends, because if they get past that point where they can come back, they no longer have that as an option.
Okay.
So.
Right on.
I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that's perfect, actually. That totally does. Okay. Now, as a reporter and working for Bloody Knucks and working with the event in the past, I'd say for past maybe 4 to 6 months now, we've heard whispers of possibilities of titles coming to Hybrid Combat Promotions. That's something that I wanted to kind of touch base on you right now, because there is a lot of talk about that possibly happening by the end of 2010. Is there anything that you can give us that kind of gives us an idea of where titles are at with Hybrid Combat Promotions right now, and if they are going to be coming, how is it that you guys are going to be deciding who's going to be fighting for titles at any time whenever they decide to make their debuts?
We've had some discussions on it actually since I don't remember if it was H2 or H3. Mike is the one who was pushing to try and get stuff like that going. Yeah. Johan and I have been talking about this for quite a bit now, for the last month or so. The exact dates and specific people, as far as that's concerned, obviously we want people to work their way up to a title shot. Yeah. Will it happen by the end of this year? Good possibility. Can I give you dates or exactly who we're going to choose? There are discussions of different people that we could see fighting for titles right now. Yeah. But I can't give you a date right now because nothing's been formalized. Well,
that's understandable, right? Yeah. So, but that's good to know that they are thinking about coming. That gives not only the fans but the fighters obviously something to look forward to as well, because obviously championship fights are something that people would love to see, and there are local talent in the area that people would pay good money to see fight for a title. So that's excellent news that you guys are thinking about bringing those titles in, hopefully sometime in 2010.
Not to cut you off, but I think one of the other things that it might bring to the event is it might attract higher levels of competition as well, because it gives people a reason to travel from different places to come and try and compete when it's competing for a title. Yeah. So that will force people to go up to a higher level, because they're fighting for something specific other than just one fight. They're actually fighting to try and get or retain a title.
Right on. So. Excellent. Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing how the promotion looks, and of course all the fights on the 22nd of May. Is there anybody that you wanted to thank sponsor-wise that's been helping you guys out planning for this event coming up in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, very much so. ePerform is our biggest sponsor. They're a nutritional supplement place. They have one here in Gatineau, one in Elmer. They've been tremendously helpful. Régin Ball as well, it's been just joined up with us, is Boston Pizza.
All right, so that's perfect that you guys have those sponsors lined up and that they're helping with the event. Now, for the people that are interested in buying tickets to this event, where can they go to get any kind of information on ticket pricing or the locations, anything like that right now?
Well, any of the local clubs that deal with us or have fighters on the card, they sell tickets there as well. So the best, honestly, depending on what part of town that you're in. If you're in the West End, there's Ronin, there's Fit MMA, there's Terry and Jiu-Jitsu on Parkdale, there's basically just about any martial arts school who deals with this type of thing should be selling tickets.
Right on.
So I would attempt calling a school in your area.
Perfect. And finally, before we sign off, you guys have a website as well with that's up with highlights and post and entire fights actually from previous events.
Yeah.
What is your guys' website?
It's hybridcombatpromotions.com.
Okay, perfect. So we were going to make sure that everybody goes and checks out hybridcombatpromotions.com for not only ticket information as well, but of course for all the previous videos and highlights from the past events. Dan, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Best of luck in your planning and the event over the next couple weeks, and we look forward to seeing you on the 22nd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.